The rains are coming in thick and fast. It's little wonder we're here in our studios recording this week's episode of This is Lagos. Irrespective, the state government is using this peak period to initiate its tree planting initiative in the state, led by the state governor, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. It's a rainy day in Lagos as the state governor leads the tree planting initiative to Ekpe Peninsula, where a new garden is being unveiled to him. Similar exercises are underway in various other locations in the state to mark the annual Lagos Tree Planting Day. The governor notes the event of the previous year is evident nature cannot be relegated to the rural areas. He recognizes the increasing efforts by residents to plant along their walkways, but urges others to join the campaign.
I must acknowledge the growing commitment of our people for the environment pillar under our team's agenda. Of course, we know that the first E under our teams is regarding environment, health and environment, the H. And so what we're doing this year, our tree planting exercise, is being aptly named to restore and to recover. Of course, you know that there is no better time that we need to begin to do restoration and recovery coming out of the very difficult pandemic year. I would dare say that we're not completely out of it yet, but at least thus far we have shown a very strong resilience as a people and as a state. So tree planting is a good way to start the restoration of our local ecosystem, and it is gratifying to note that many negotiants have become enthusiastic tree planting citizens, and I think it's something we need to emulate and we need to commend them for that. And so we begin to see that people have started tree planting all around their neighborhoods, and we believe this captures carbon from the atmosphere, it protects and it fertilizes the soil, and it harbors many of the planet's animal, birds, and insects. The cultural, spiritual, and recreational role of a tree makes them essential for the well-being of human beings. All of these are benefits that makes us more resilient despite the very difficult economic and environmental shocks that we're currently going through. While a wave of optimism has emerged globally, of course, during this COVID, we've seen massive humanization and vaccination. The recovery effort extends beyond just vaccination, and we're suppressing the spread of the virus. We need to now start restoring the environment as a critical step for the overall recovery that we talk about. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the first rule for restoration and recovery is to stop the further destruction of critical green infrastructure. It is cheaper to conserve natural habitats than to restore them at a later date. It is estimated that 60% of all infectious diseases in humans and about 75% in emerging infectious diseases originates from the transfer of pathogens from animals to humans. Lagos is one of the world's megacities with a rapid urbanization, and it's expected that our population will continue to grow even beyond 2030. And as this happens, our ecosystem and the essential natural assets that provides us as a common ground will certainly be under threat. 5-year Lagos State Climate Change Action Plan, which I was opportune to launch about 2 months ago. This is a policy document that will make Lagos State project impacts It will coordinate our responses and achieve a resilience under the challenging climate condition till 2025. We believe that the first 5 years will present an opportunity for us to rejig and to retool and to see how we've done between now and 2025, and also have another one from 2026 to 2030. And I believe that by the time we have each five-year rolling plan, Lagos will continue to remain very adaptive, and very resilient to all of the environmental shocks and the climate issues that we're talking about. And I want to challenge the ministry and LASPA that they need to intensify efforts at building a sustainable future that we all want. An environmentally resilient state with the potential to deliver significant financial, environmental, and social return for our teeming population and, of course, for the private sector. We will continue to actively engage our partners and relevant stakeholders to carry out a diverse range of environmental conservation initiatives. And I want to urge all of us that are here today and in other parts of the states, as we celebrate this year's tree planting, to see it as another clarion call for us to look back and see how well can we work collaboratively with government, with civil society, and with all many people that understand the green ecospace, how we can design a working tool that will make sure that our environment is resilient, speaks to the needs that we see today, and is able to absorb the shocks that we're seeing in the years ahead.
The Commissioner for Environment, Tunji Bello, notes the state government continues to set an example by ensuring the state's infrastructural drive does not overshadow the need for preserving nature.
Tree planting is one of the active human interventions and about the cheapest for effective restoration of the earth. And this administration is appreciative and happy that Lagosians are seriously embracing the habits. Trees are known to be very useful in absorbing carbon dioxide, a major contributor to greenhouse gases, and replenishing the air with oxygen. Aside from this, trees improve the aesthetic value of the environment. They also provide shade, prevent erosion, help minimize flooding, and act as windbreakers, thereby protecting us from the adverse effect of windstorm and other hazards of nature. Lagos State Tree Planting Day celebration has grown to be one of the largest and veritable platforms of environmental public outreach in the state, and is celebrated annually by thousands of people, groups, and organizations across various sectors of the state. Last year, we planted trees for life in honor of our health workers and frontline heroes who continue to be in the forefront after the devastating outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. This year's theme focuses on restoration and recovery, and tree planting is still one of the cheapest nature-based climate solutions that will enhance a lasting COVID-19 recovery.
We will continue with our commitment with Lagos State Government to show the pace, because Lagos State Government gives leadership in what it says, not just the talking but also the doing, and that is why we are witnessing here today. And the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, we will continue to partner with Lagos State Government.
The state government is also rewarding students who have created artworks to celebrate this year's event, as they hope to build a habit in the younger generation. With economic activities back in full swing, the Lagos State government is keen to reduce the exposure of its populace to health and safety hazards. The State's Safety Commission is working with the Lagos Bureau of Statistics to identify hazards in vocational centers and learning institutes across the state.
Safety is a state in which hazards and conditions leading to physical, psychological, or material harm are controlled in order to preserve the health and well-being of individuals and the community. Over the years, the term societal safety has evolved from a response standpoint to a prevention culture where public planning and mitigation of accidents has taken central role in its interpretation.
We're trying to look at our schools, our education systems, and skill acquisition centers, and trying to bring some safety issue into the front burner, such that the Safety Commission can put in place the right program, projects, and planning. You understand? Today, We're looking at the vocational institutions, and we'll be going out to the field to various vocational institutes and centers to interview both the academic staff, non-academic staff, and the students. And all our interview will center around safety issues in the schools, on the way to the schools, so we do it to the center, within the center, occupational hazard, and what have you. So that's the essence. And why are we doing this? We are doing it because in Lagos State, 60% of those that are working in Lagos State are from informal sector. And informal sectors are heavily dependent on skill acquisition. You understand? And if you don't imbibe the safety culture from the institute, when they set up their home businesses, how will they be able to operate? So we want to catch them while they are still having that. At the same time, making sure that the school, the centers, the institutions where they're going to get those skills have sufficient and adequate safety provision for both the students, the staff, and the entire people that will come to that institute.
The Director General of the Lagos State Safety Commission, Larry Mojola, warns that the increasing number of the new COVID-19 Delta variants is critical to ensure the state emerges safely from this wave.
Today's training is basically centered around training for enumerators that will be going out to carry out audits, assessments in terms of data for vocational centers across the state. We're working in partnership with the Lagos Bureau of Statistics, the Lagos State Safety Commission, to ensure that the enumerators are well trained, properly equipped, so that when they go out to carry out their risk assessments, their hazard identification, we can come up with a holistic program that ensures that our vocational centers are safe from hazards and risks, in all to make a better and safer Lagos for all of us.
The young participants are also eager to go ahead with their survey and bring results that will help the state plan and curb any safety violations.
It's an era that, you need to have this entrepreneurship mindset. After school, you don't go about looking for what is not meant to be looked for. You can start your business and you can be a source of employment to others.
We all know that there's no more white-collar job in the country, so we've learned a vocational school.
The Lagos State Governor joined civil servants across the state to celebrate their Civil Service Week. This all came down with a lot of merriment and celebrations, and the state governor rewarded some servants with gifts, prizes, and other awards for their diligence in service.
Because all of you that are in this room today, apart from the PAMSEC and the heads of agencies that are here, you've demonstrated to us a can-do spirit that Lagos State Public Service made of. And what has happened here today is a testimonial and what you take back home. What you should take back your office. Whatever it is that you're doing or you have done that has earned you that bill, be here today, be part of the celebration. Make sure that you continue to excel. Make sure that you continue to lead in example amongst the other colleagues, and they continue to see you, your ministry, your department, your agency, as a positive agent that has come out of us. So that indeed, the confidence and the expectation that has been given to you do not disappoint us. And so it's God2 that has brought out 10 winners here. And don't give up. Just continue to be your very best where you find yourself. If you don't win this year, you probably could win next year. If you don't win next year, continue to do it, you probably can win the year after. But I want to say to you that it is not only just lip service that will say that our public service is the best country. That's why we know that with current head of service, we will certainly take the crops of the public service that we have now to take it to an enviable and to a level that indeed all of us will be proud of.
It's a few days to the state's local government elections in Lagos. The state governor has handed over the party flags to all contestants and candidates under the All Progressives Congress in the state. It is also his responsibility to ensure that the process is transparent and void of violence. Ahead of the local government and local council chairmanship elections in Lagos State, the state governor has handed over party flags to all contestants under the All Progressives Congress.
Every one of you will be handed over the party flags of APC, and we expect you to be victorious in the next 6 days.
I want to admonish us, and I want to also encourage us. We're here to hand over the significant flag to our flag bearers, the chairman and their vice, and of course, supported by our various LGA chairmen who are the party, and to go forward to the various local governments, to the various wards, and ensure that they do the same to our councillors, and they campaign in all the nooks and crannies of the state. We're believing that with this significant event that we're about to commence here, it will signpost our seriousness at next local government election. And we're certain that the success that we're currently enjoying at the national, at the state, will also be translated at the local government election as well.
Some of the candidates and previous chairmen have read out the achievements of the APC in the states and are hoping to sustain the gains, especially with the governor's achievements in office.
My 4-point agenda includes but not limited to health, infrastructure, education, youth empowerment and women emancipation. We have included security now in the whole program of governance that is going to come up in the next 4 years. I'm going to do more because the reward for a good job is more work. We are going to do more in terms of youth emancipation and women empowerment. We are going to do more on the health, on upgrading our health facilities to a 24-hour service. We are going to do more in giving our children the best atmosphere in terms of learning. And we are going to do more in terms of making sure that the whole of Ajeromi is known for sports and music.
I've started well just about a year and a half ago. We have done a lot of infrastructure and intervention even in education. The women are not even left behind. The youth have been carried along. And this time around, we're going to make sure all the departments are touched, most especially the aspect of youth. There's a complaint in everywhere that the youth were not carried along, but I will tell you, we are in the Kosisheri during the answers. The youth were there for us, they stood by us, and just because we had an intervention with them, and the rapport is so much, and we are not going to relent even on our effort. And the aged and the widows, they will surely be touched again because we have been doing different palliative, monthly salary even to all of them. And we are not going to stop because the effort of our amiable governor must be complemented, and we are going to complete with that.
When we came in, our first assignment was on road rehabilitation, and we took some numbers of roads that are begging for attention into consideration. And we also consider the volume of vehicular movement on each road before we venture into the rehabilitation and construction of roads. So we were able to take care of some roads in Festac, in Maitu, Agirimo Road, in Maitu area. We have the circular road in Festac, Maitu, Festac entrance link bridge to Festac by 4th Avenue, 11 Road, 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue by 2nd Avenue, 209, 4th Avenue, many of them like that. We are rehabilitated, and we also renovated all our primary schools, all the public primary schools within our confines. We are renovated to modern standards, and we also equip them with furnitures, and the head teacher's office were renovated, chairs and tables were provided for them so that our pupils could study under a conducive atmosphere. And we equally give them writing material and notebooks. We also provide them with COVID-19 protocols, face masks, running water, sanitizer, and soap. We provided them with that so that they can study under a conducive atmosphere. We also embark on health. Also, we embark on the rehabilitation of our POCs, and particularly we are nearing completion. We constructed ultra-modern permanent health care, which is more or less a mini general hospital, because in our axis in Badagry area, we are lacking the general hospital, and we don't want our people to be going far for general hospital to attend for their health care. So that's why we did the one we constructed at the council. It's at 95% completion. The next few weeks now, it will be open for use. If you have any courtesy issues in Amodofin, and you can do a confirmation. We don't have in Amodofin, we are not having any court issues. Particularly in Amodofin, all our youth were engaged. Virtually all our youth were engaged. And if you remember, during the NSAS, Amodofin was safe, was kept safe by the residents, by the youth who believe that, they were carried along the government, that they are part and parcel of the government, and they were out to defend their community. They chased away the marauders that come from neighboring local government to perpetrate any evil. So they were chased away, and Amodofin was calm. None single property was destroyed during the NSAS. So that shows that our youth participated fully in our government. We also engage them in our revenue collection. We engage them in so many ways. And today, they're happy for it.
The governor is also hoping for a smooth process on Saturday, challenging all stakeholders to be up to the task in ensuring the state is rid of violence.
The whole idea is for us to be able to have the real transformational changes at the grassroots. The federal, the state, and the local government are 3 tiers of government, and everybody has their roles and responsibilities. But as a state government, we'll continue to ensure that our own development agenda, because we own all the local government, is reflected in all local government, and that's what we're doing. And so what we expect from them is to also carry on with that and ensure that once they come in, they can hit the ground running in all of the wards that we have. You remember that we have projects in the entire wards in the state that we're currently doing even as a state government, and so we expect them to be able to be complemented and be able to do more. And that's why we're charging them, and we'll be monitoring them on a quarterly basis with the Speaker, with Mr. Deputy. Mr. Deputy has a responsibility on Cabinet. Mr. Speaker has an overall responsibility. We'll be monitoring them on a quarterly basis, right? And come up with schemes around ensuring that who is doing what, so that they can also create a healthy rivalry amongst themselves. That's what we expect, and we're praying and hoping that at the polls, APC will come top, they will do well, and will not disappoint all the people that have voted them into power.
We also talk to other parties that are also participating in coming election. We must ensure violence. It is not going to do any of us any good, any party any good. So we must allow people of the state to decide and choose the chairman that will serve their interests for the next 4 years. So we must all come together to condemn anything that has to do with violence. We must do that. It's very important, because anything can come. The outcome of violence action. It could take life, it could take anything else. So we don't want that to happen.
The state governor has assured all relevant stakeholders of his commitment to ensure that the elections are void of violence. That completes our episode for this week. Until next time, I am Wilson Amoni, and this is Lagos.